Hello, beautiful, beautiful tribe, and welcome to this that is the call to prayer for the Held in Prayer Awakening ceremony. I know that some of you here and listening have been part of Held in Prayer ceremonies, and some of you haven't. This evening is a chance, if you haven't been part of Held in Prayer, to find out about Held in Prayer, and more specifically find out about the Awakening Full Moon ceremony and tune into it. And it is also a chance for us to come together and call the ceremony into its greatest possible potential. And we will do that with meditation and with channeling and simply through experiencing. If you haven't met me before, my name is Karila and I'm from the Starlight Temple, which is a company that does all sorts of courses and ceremonies and events and, in normal times, travel that is about using channeled and spiritual tools to become more of yourself, more of your truth, more of your path, more of everything that you are meant to do and be. And I am getting a little bit emotional because Held in Prayer, which is a very, very special form of ceremony, has definitely helped me become more of myself at one of the hardest and most challenging experiences, which is, of course, this crazy lockdown all of us have lived in. And I actually believe that the lockdown, whatever your situation, has been challenging. Anything that is kind of it has amplified whatever your challenges are. And Held in Prayer is probably at least one of the three most important things that came out of this lockdown for me personally. It's a very, 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 very beautiful ancient ceremony. It's a ceremony that belonged to the last golden ages. It was originally a ceremony that was performed by the priesty temples, and the priesty were the temples that really honored the gender of the great union, the gender of the great unity, the great coming together of the masculine and the feminine. And it was a practice for peace, a practice for bringing humanity into oneness, and a way of helping a community or civilization become its greatest self. And it's a very, very, very simple practice, but an amazingly powerful one. What it does is it brings whoever is part of the ceremony into a state of oneness. And so it brings, it's basically how humans do what dolphins and starlings and those beings that can kind of come in and out of pod or in and out of murmuration. And this is the practice that allows the human heart or human individuals to come into a state of pod or murmuration or oneness. And what it does, the benefits of it are absolutely incredible on a personal level and on a ceremonial level and on a service level. It's a really, 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 really sacred ceremony. And out of everything I have ever done spiritually, there is held in prayer by far is the thing that has stabilized me into a high vibration. So there are many, 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 many different tools that I have experienced that have raised my vibration. But the thing that has helped me stay in a high vibration more than anything else, helped me stabilize into a high vibration, is held in prayer. And I am so committed to this ceremony and all that it can do for humanity and for us in this really, really crazy, magical, unusual time that we are living through. And also this time that is the birth of the next golden age. And part of me believes so fully and so deeply that the return of some of the lost temple ceremonies from the last golden ages is how we will be at birth this consciousness or human creativity that is required for the age of Aquaria. And I really believe that held in prayer is part of that. And so that is a little introduction to held in prayer. I'm going to talk a bit more about why you would be called to prayer, why you would be getting involved in a held in prayer ceremony, what it can do for you, and then more specifically what this upcoming awakening ceremony is going to do. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the practicals. And mainly I'm going to let the guides do the energetics. And we are going to have an evening of meditation, either during or at the end. I will open up for some community time, and I will also open up for questions for those of you listening live. But let us begin with a meditation just to bring us into an energetic circle, into right here, right now. And just taking a moment to expand your breath. Really giving your breath permission to be in its potential, and noticing how this gives you permission to be in your potential right here, right now. As you feel a column of light, golden light, pouring down from the great central sun, down into your energy field, instantly and consistently raising your vibration as this light travels down through you, down into the heart of Great Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. And as this golden light illuminates the heart of the earth, feel your heart illuminated as this light bounces off the heart of Mother Earth, reflecting back up into the heart of Source, so that you're held in this two-way flow of love and light. And as you give your wholeness permission to be held, notice that as you are held, the colors of your aura brighten and expand as you feel your aura being sealed from top to bottom in white and golden light. Know that only love and light can enter into your energy. And a foot away from the edge of your aura, feel the mauve, violet, emerald, lavender and white flames wrapping around your aura, so that any energy released from any direction can be instantly transmuted into love and light, and sent wherever it is in the highest good for it to go. Knowing that you are divinely protected, relaxed, feeling the free fall gravitational drop into the sacredness of your own self. And from this place of intimacy into me, I see, of innocence, inner sense. From this part of you that is so tender, so true, so devoted. Feel a grounding cord from your bellies, dropping down through all the different layers of the earth, down into the iron core, crystal in the center of the Great Mother. And as you anchor here into her, feel the iron in your blood, warming with the love that Mother Earth has for you. As you feel your heart opening to those that you are sharing this ceremony with and those that will listen in the future. And as you open your heart to them, feel all energy from all these beautiful hearts streaming towards you, welcoming you, embracing you, making this here and now sacred, unjudged, ceremonial space. As you feel the priesty guide come into our temple space, come into energetic circle with us. Hearing in your mind's ear the sacred chants and are the call to prayer. And maybe you will feel these chants. Maybe you will hear them from inside your inner sense, from inside your imagination. Or maybe you will simply know that they are happening. But as you connect to these chants, feel your heart being lifted by this call to prayer. Into the heart state of oneness. Feeling your heart beating with the heartbeat of those that you are sharing this moment with. Experiencing the field of your heart. Coming into the state of heart murmuration. Where all that you are, all that is held within the field of your own heart. Comes into the beautiful rhythm of this oneness, of this murmuration. When human hearts come together, just noticing how All of you is infused with heart consciousness. Noticing how being in this murmuration makes you feel. As a chamber of light is activated around our murmuration level. And this light will illuminate this call to prayer, this call to thee, held in prayer ceremony for the great awakening. And we welcome you to this call to prayer with so much love and so much joy in our heart. And notice that as you are in this state of oneness, of wonder, you can feel the heart of the Spirit more fully. You are more receptive and open to the love that we emanate to you, because when you are in oneness, everything is more possible. You are more capable. And miracles are something that is happening in the action of now. Breathing in love. Breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love. And breathing out gratitude. And when you are ready, opening your eyes and coming in to the room. And taking this moment, if you're listening live, just to share in the chat box about how you're feeling that opening meditation. I'm gonna do a little bit of explanation about holding prayer, but I'd love to hear how you're all doing, how you're feeling. And so I'm glad you're feeling peaceful, Kate. And so I will open up for people to have a chance to ask questions in a minute. I just want to explain a little bit more about how I think I'm glad you can feel the essence of the prayer and the arrival of the songs and the spirit. And so how a held in prayer ceremony works is a group or a community of people get together and they hold constant prayer. And so prayer is held for an hour and 11 minutes. And every 24 hours or however long you do the ceremony for, each hour needs to be filled. So when we do it for an hour and 11 minutes, and every person starts on the hour. And so the prayer is never broken because there's an 11-minute overlap of prayer keepers. And the main thing that happens is so you can pray in any way. It is non-religious prayer. You can pray to deities. You can pray to anybody you want to pray to. You can pray to life, the universe, whichever deities resonate. But the only kind of rule in it is that you have to keep bringing your attention back to the group. So you can pray for the earth and humanity and all of the plants and all of the animals, but you also have to keep praying for the group, because it is the praying for the group that holds the group in that state of murmuration or oneness. And that's what you have to do in a held in prayer ceremony. So that's your hour and 11 minutes. And then the rest of the group held prayer for you. And so for however long the ceremony goes on for example, the awakening one we're doing on the full moon is going to be a 48-hour ceremony. So for every single one of those 48 hours, prayer will be held over you and the other prayer keepers. And what this does is mean for that 48 hours, you are in a state of oneness. Firstly, it is an absolutely beautiful experience. You go to sleep and you can feel the energy of the prayer as you fall asleep, as you wake up. It just feels amazing. You feel so, all of the parts of you that are feeling separated and unheld and wounded get to be nurtured and held and supported in the holding of this constant prayer. What it also does is bring our consciousness into a state of miracles. And so if you think of the starlings that do this when they fly in a murmuration, those tiny little starlings suddenly become massive, and they're suddenly beyond their own limitations of their physicality and their bodies and their energies. And so they have come into the embodiment of the miracle state. They have kind of gone beyond their own limitations. And so this is why the held in prayer ceremony is an amazing time to manifest, because essentially anybody that's part of it has become unlimited or has gone beyond their own limitations, because they're suddenly in a much bigger, higher vibrational field than they could reach by themselves. So in terms of manifesting, it is absolutely like being in a major manifesting portal of calling in all sorts of magnifying your ability to manifest and of calling in all sorts of miracles. It's also an amazing, amazing opportunity to heal, because there are so many things, so many wounds within us that can only be healed by the medicines of the human heart. And so when we are held in prayer, we are held in the medicine of the human heart. You know, guides and spirit support held in prayer, but really what it is the medicine of the human heart. How my guides like to work with the held in prayer ceremonies is at this time, they are using them as portals for healing, as portals for healing the collective, as portals for healing the earth. And so because the human miracle heart-filled energy is so high vibrational in the held in prayer portal, the guides are using it to send healing to the collective, to send healing to Mother Earth, to send to seed the collective consciousness with new energies and new consciousness, so that we can ascend. And I'd done held in prayer ceremonies before on Starlight Journeys, and then on the Samhain full moon, it was guided to do one. And it was a 48-hour one, and everybody just had the most amazing time, including me. We were like, this feels amazing, because you go beyond your limits of vibration. And so then we decided to do a 6-week one, from the 11/11 till the solstice, which was totally incredible. And now in 2021, we are going to be holding short 2 or 3 day held in prayer ceremonies. But these ceremonies, the instruction from spirit is they've got to be in a high ceremony. So when you pray, when you do your hour and 11 minutes, you're not on your phone, you're not distracted, you are fully in the ceremony of the prayer and giving to the group. And yeah, there's been this kind of very strong message about it, to do it really, really in high ceremony, if that makes sense, or in full commitment, because commitment and freedom are two flows of the same energy. And at this time, the human collective consciousness is really needing freedom on so many levels, in so many ways. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the awakening ceremony and what the guides want to do. There's already been some amazing little moments and magic around it. But I wanted to just open up the chat and ask if anybody had any questions or anything. And you can just unmic yourselves and say if you have questions. If you want to know anything about held in prayer, or share anything, or ask anything about what I've said. And yeah, I agree, Camilla, it felt so protective as well. And at this time, we need protection.
It's gonna sound really odd, but what if you don't know how to pray? I mean, it's an hour and 11 minutes. Like, can you chant a mantra with the intention of like love and prosperity and peace?
So we give you in instruction, but there isn't really. People can dance, people dance, people sing, people make crystal grids. I think some people just hold the energy and send healing. You can pray in whatever way is right for you, and the advice actually is not plan it. I find it amazing every time I sit down to do the prayer. it's like the inspiration kind of just flows, and suddenly you get into the zone of it, and you're not even, you know, you think you don't know how to pray, but you do. Because humans are made of prayer, you know, and like we've prayed since the beginning of time. And it's like, I think my most simple prayer, it was, I just did an hour and 11 minutes of being like, may you believe in humanity, may you believe in humanity. So you can go really simple, you can chant, you can just be like, I ask for everyone in this group to be blessed. The only thing you have to do, whatever you're doing, is keep bringing your attention back to the group. And then what happens is after each person has prayed, they share. So temple spaces are set up on Facebook group and Telegram, and they share about their prayers. And so you also get loads of inspiration from other people's prayers. And the other thing that's just beautiful is, I cannot tell you how many times we've held in prayer. You know, I'd be in a bad mood or having a bad moment, and then I'd happen to look at my phone and somebody had just posted the most beautiful prayer, and you're like, oh, I feel better now that like these beautiful things are happening for me. So the community and the kind of sharing just gets gorgeous, and people's creativity. I mean, I have to say that I definitely was not the most creative. You know, some people would just go all out and light these amazing candles and create these amazing altars, where I'd usually like, I think on the 6-week one, I had quite an early slot. So I'd be like rolling out of bed, like not really doing anything other than holding the prayer. But you can feel the energy when you're holding it. And that's the main bit, is you're keeping the energy charged, you're keeping the prayer electric and alive. And what you do in that time is completely up to you. The only thing is you cannot do something that would take your focus away from the prayer. So it's not recommended to be like driving, or you can be out in nature, but it's like, don't be out in nature with a group of people that would just, do you see what I mean? It's like you need to be somewhere where you can hold the focus and keep the prayer charged. But that's the only kind of rule. And actually, it's really amazing to have an hour where you're not thinking about yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because like we're so bombarded with our phones and our thoughts and our lives, and there's actually something deeply healing about going, oh, I don't need to think about this. You know, I just need to give for this hour and 11 minutes. So yeah, thank you for that really great question. Does anybody else have any questions or anything they want to say?
This may also be a weird question, but when you were mentioning about the different ways in which people give energy and hold space and hold that energy, it kind of made me think about, you know, civilizations past, like the Incans, the Mayans, and how offerings / sacrificial offerings were a big part of that ceremony to honor. Do you, in this kind of form of prayer, do people offer things, or do people give things up to?
So the main thing you're offering is your time and your energy and your focus. But what is happening with the 2021 prayers, and it also happened in the 6th week, is that so for each prayer ceremony, one of the things that happens is a candle is constantly lit. So I don't really get to leave my house while held in prayer is happening, and the flame doesn't stop burning. And what I do is regularly dip a crystal in the candle wax, so that all of the prayers are collected, and then there is a piece of light work that happens after the ceremony where the prayers are actually offered to Mother Earth and offered to the kind of changes in the creative human consciousness. And so that happens. But of course, if somebody wants to also do an offering ceremony, they can. So how you pray is, you know, like I said, some people just play singing bowls or just play drums, or other people want to pray on an offering. It's kind of between your heart and the prayer circle. And yeah, it's one of the things that Held in Prayer taught me was how much we have lost prayer. Because of course, cultures always used to go, if somebody was in crisis, I'll pray for you. Do you know what I mean? And I always thought from films and stuff like that was about, like, you know, asking God to help. And actually what Held in Prayer made me realize was it isn't just that. It's about that person going through crisis being supported in the energy of the human heart, you know, being supported by humanity and community and the healing that can happen there. And I think all of the ancient cultures, like the ones you mentioned, the importance of prayer was understood. And it's time for us, that for humanity to get out of the crisis we have to reclaim the power of the human heart, which is found in prayer, whatever that prayer is. And it's beautiful as well, because on the last ceremonies we've had like people praying to Ganesh, people praying to Jesus, people praying to, you know, like, and actually the guides say there is this incredible kind of healing of the religious divides that happen when lots of people are praying in lots of different cultures and to lots of different deities. It's part of the rainbow ascension, the rainbow prayer ascension. So,
and do you know what the root word of prayer is?
do you know what? I was going to look it up and I didn't look it up. Let me see if I can find it now. We need it. Root word of prayer. It means to ask, basically, to request, to entreat, to invite. And so really it is the energy of manifestation. It's the energy of the human heart manifestation, but in catalyst form. When it's done in a state of oneness, it becomes a catalyst for creation or change.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. Anybody else have anything they want to ask? Or
yeah, I was gonna say that, that in the Held in Prayer 2021, which is the first time I joined one of these ceremonies, and I really felt that call, like, to just be guided to do whatever I felt in the slot. So I didn't prepare too much, and then sometimes like I had a real connection to a deity that came through, or sometimes a mantra happened or something that came quite clearly. But often I found myself in this kind of wordlessness energy, really focused and really big and just beautiful, like powerful energy. But it was wordless, and very unstructured, but still very focused. And it felt like a huge space, like a temple space with all the different energies of people and all the spirits in there. And I'm hoping that that's okay as well. That wordlessness is that focus on that energy is also
it's absolutely okay. You can do silent prayer as long as it is focused and as long as it is being the silent prayer. And I know I felt that too, when you're just like, when actually it's kind of like there aren't any words for it, but you're just holding, you know, like you say, the temple. That's totally fine. And I think a lot of people did silent prayers actually, where they were just sending energy or holding energy or being in that energy. So that is, yeah, perfect. You really cannot pray wrong. The only way that you can, prayer is all about intention. So as long as you're in the intention of holding the prayer, of serving the tribe, then whatever you do is perfect. It's if you get you know, unfocused, then that's when, because for those of you that don't know, the Held in Prayer 21 ceremony that got changed into this new version that we are now doing the call for, got leaky because there were some people that were dropping the prayers, and you can actually feel it when that happens. And so this is why it's like now high ceremony and everybody's being encouraged to be really, 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 really focused, but not in a way that's stressed, not in a way that is like, oh, I can get this wrong. It's just in that kind of commitment way, you know, giving your all to whatever it is you're doing, being fully in whatever it is you're doing, whether that is silence or whether it is chanting or dancing, or it's just being fully with it, fully present is all that's needed for the prayer.
Thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, the silence is beautiful, so beautiful. I know exactly the one you mean. It's like, it's gonna hold this and be in the sacredness. Anybody else have questions or things they want to ask? Okay, so we're gonna, so one of the things that, thank you for those brilliant questions. One of the things that I feel held in prayer is, so why are we calling prayer? We're calling prayer because now that held in prayer has come into my life, I cannot bear not to have it because of how much it has done for me personally. We're calling prayer because, you know, there is a lot of ceremony and light work and earth work that isn't possible to happen. And so this is a way for that work to happen in terms of ascension and Gaia's alignment and humanity's alignment with Gaia at this time of great change. And we are calling prayer because humanity is in crisis, and this is what is innate in our ancestry to do when crisis is happening. And we are calling prayer because the way showers and the space holders and the light bringers and the light workers, all of you are working really, really, really hard at this time. And what held in prayer also does is allow for you to recharge. It allows for you at this time where your energy bodies and your light bodies and your paths are working so hard at keeping the frequency, at holding space. It allows for you to be held and therefore recharge. It's like plugging your phone in and getting the juice back energetically and vibrationally for you to go on and do even more amazing and wonderful things. And so this is also why we are holding prayer. And what was guided for this held in prayer, what was guided for this held in prayer was to give it a title called Awakening Ceremony. And so, as well as the prayers, it works like it would in a temple. So in a temple, what would happen is you would come to the temple to hold prayer for the village or the community. And all of the people that were prayer keepers would take it in turns to hold the prayer, so the prayer is never broken around the sacred fire. But at that temple, usually in the mornings and the evenings, would also be ceremonies for the prayer keepers to partake in, to kind of increase their prayers, to increase their learning, to benefit from being a prayer keeper, to hold the prayers and glue it all together and anchor the prayers, and for light and earth and spirit work to happen through this amazing pool of prayer. And so what we will be doing is transmissions in the mornings and the evenings. I will be sending out a transmission list, and all of them will be recorded. If you're praying at the time that there is a transmission that's just brilliant. It just means your prayer is like really supercharged and helping, and you can always listen to it afterwards. So it starts, it's running for 48 hours. It starts on the 27th. So it's for the full moon, and it goes from, so annoyingly, the clocks in the UK change, but we have presented it as a BST calendar. So it starts at midnight BST, even though technically the opening ceremony is starting at 10 p.m. GMT. But me and Sharon have worked that out, so you don't need to worry about that. It's a BST calendar. And then it closes at 48 hours later. So it closes on the 29th at 11 p.m. And in it are going to be transmissions. One of them I am so two of them I am very, very excited about. Some of them are held in prayer, regular things like Heart Sings Open, which is a beautiful evening of kind of kirtan singing and prayer celebration. One of them is going to be a transmission of the Lost Temple ceremonies. So held in prayer is one of many Lost Temple ceremonies, and my guides are also using the portals of held in prayer to return these Lost Temple ceremonies to the collective consciousness and to the prayer keepers. And when you receive them in a meditation state, but what happens is it's like you also receive them on an energetic level. So those ceremonies that were missing from whichever stage in your life you needed it, you receive it, and you kind of come into greater spiritual adulthood by having those rites of passage returned to you, if that makes sense. These ceremonies are absolutely amazing. They cover every stage of life's changes. And as the guides channel them, they're being offered to the collective. So if you're a ceremonialist, you can then take those ceremonies and offer them to friends, family. You can work with them. They're things that our culture has lost that we need to reclaim. And the one for the awakening is the tying of the light lineages ceremony, which is a really important ceremony that we're meant to receive after being born, which is when you actually get properly hooked up to your guide and spirit and light lineage system. And so it improves connection and protection and your sense of wholeness and self, so that you're not just operating from your physical DNA, you're also operating from your light lineage DNA. And so that's the ceremony they're offering for this one. And then the other piece of light work, which I'm so excited about, is they want to use the awakening portal to help the collective consciousness awaken. And one of the things they've started to show me very clearly is that at the moment, there is a lot of hypnosis energy in the human collective. And they're not taking kind of a side or a story or anything like that. But you know how there is this sense of when people are talking to each other, they're kind of going into not being able to hear each other. So there is this real sense of people not being able to hear other people's point of view. Apparently there's quite a lot of hypnosis in the collective consciousness that is causing people not to be able to hear each other. And so the guides are gonna do a very special kind of crazy healing that they've already shown me of like breaking up that hypnosis on the collective consciousness level using the held in prayer portal. So, and to me, this is a really important bit of light work, because to me, we really need to be in togetherness and ascend together and love each other. And also, you know, hypnosis is it's just a big wound in the collective consciousness that is stopping us from living our truth, from living our fullness, it allows us to be manipulated into buying things we don't want to buy, into, you know, being in things that we don't want to be in. And all of us have suffered from that kind of wound of manipulation. So there's a big healing happening for that, through us, for us, but also on behalf of our brothers and sisters in the collective consciousness. And it feels really, really important. And then the beautiful thing, and I will share it on the temple spaces, is I lit the candle for the call to prayer today. And literally as I lit it, it was like the wax created a face of a deer with antlers. And suddenly I was like, oh, that feels like the white deer. And when the white deer comes in, this medicine is so special. And, you know, the story of kind of what the white deer represents. There's a story about the white deer that's like, all of the villagers were scared of the monster, and there was this big scary monster, and all of these heroes went to try and kill the monster or destroy the monster, and they couldn't destroy the monster, and the monster is like taking over everything and destroying everything. And then in the end, the deer is the one that was able to solve the problem, because the deer had such a pure heart that it went up the mountain to where the monster lived, and all it could see was the heart of the monster. All it could see was the beauty of the monster. And it caused the monster to remember its own heart and remember its own love and become beautiful. And then all of the people were set free. And it was the courage of the heart of the deer that made this. And to me, I'm just like, that is the medicine for this time. That is what we need to call in the awakening. And if the white deer, which I'm pretty sure after what happened with the candle is going to help us with the awakening ceremony, then you know that this is sacred heart work and fearless heart work. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful heart work. And so held in prayer ceremonies will be happening once a month. I will send the links with which to sign up. What we are going to do now is a tuning in to for those of you that are not sure, to find out if you want to join the awakening ceremony. And I'm sure the guides will do some lovely healings and blessings for you. They may do light language, which, if you haven't heard it before, it's really just an energetic experience, a vibrational experience to have. And so closing your eyes. And once again, listening to the chant of the priesty that have been holding you in the energy of the call to prayer. As you open up your hearts to the energy of the full moon. This that can bring silver white illumination to the dark night. And yes, dearest ones, you are living through the dark night of the collective human soul. And just as the moonlight is that which can illuminate the dark night, so this prayer ceremony that is light work, earth work, and mainly brother and sister humanity work. So this ceremony can illuminate like the moon. And we ask you to see and visualize this as you hear inside yourselves, inside your innocence, gathering of the power of prayer, feeling all of the prayers, all of the prayers that your ancestors prayed. All of the prayers that created you and your world. Prayers for water, prayers for food, prayers for health, prayers for salvation, prayers for children, prayers for life. prayers for love, understanding that prayer is the human heart creating. Prayer is the way that the heart manifests. And when the human heart prays together, you come into heart creational catalytic energy. And as you are called this time to gather and pray for awakening, notice how this makes you feel. Notice if you can hear the song of the dawn bird within this prayer that is already speaking. As we send you now, dearest ones, through the chamber of light that is activated, the temple plates of this sacred prayer that moves through you now as vibration code. And in your mind's eye, you will see, feel, know this code moving through you. Noticing the shapes, the sacred structures of this. It is the prayer for the great awakening, and as you receive this code, like a rain shower of light, feeling yourself receiving it on behalf of Great Mother Gaia, so that she knows that this prayer for the awakening of humanity has now been called. As you hear the priest is singing this prayer to the hearts of Hu being light language for ones who sing humanity. And you feel this prayer becoming song inside of you. And as the great mother receives this prayer, feel her beginning to sing this song, beginning to call this prayer into form. For as was known in ancient temple times, permission to come into prayer, to come into the creational energy of held in prayer, was granted by Mother Earth. And as she receives this prayer, it has been written by the higher selves of all who have and will be called to prayer. She receives this prayer. And she begins to sing this prayer. Feel this permission being granted. This permission for heart creational catalyst healing to occur. And as you see the spirit of the white deer who comes as Gaia's prayer, speaker for this sacred ceremony, who comes to overlight this awakening ceremony. As you see in your mind's eye, the spirit of the white deer blessing this ceremony. Notice how you soften in its energy. How this, that is the heart of the deer, brings forth a return to love. Niai treyai maniarean raya lila amatreya mantaya ram tayai mandaya lila raya nyam manate re nete arandataya ramanai vi nete re ti tre te niare ne tai tramea Mandayare o Udai Lila Dea Naya Dai 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 Bayere Mumete Dai Dai Rama Nai Tai Maria Mai Tare. And as this prayer call passes through you, notice yourself becoming clearer, becoming freer, unraveling from distractions and hypnosis that is not the pureness of your heart. And as you feel your heart filling with the light of the spirit of the white death. Feel this prayer, this call, as a luminescence shining out to all who are meant to gather in prayer, who are meant to pray for this awakening, who are meant to give and receive this sacred ceremony. Breathing in love, and breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love, and breathing out gratitude. And when you are ready, opening your eyes and coming into the room. Again, I'm just opening up a community space. Anybody that may want to share very sacred, beautiful energy of this awakening ceremony. Lots of smiles. Explain your Nesha Ayako.
Well, I just really want to say, we had this last one, and then I think we were focusing a lot that each people can do the individual prayer, but today was really important to be coming back the starting point that we are holding this oneness. And I really felt that we started to hear the song already. So that was my original November. I was just chanting a mantra because it just came. He listened some mantra, and I was keep chanting 1 hour and 11 minutes. And then everybody started to join, and it was just a whole huge thing, you know. So today I think so I really felt the guides were coming. And then the message was really like there's a common everybody's all together. This chanting is then we can do everything. We can express other way, but it's a huge like unit. So it's really beautiful, and I'm really feeling so much heat and so much connection and energy here right now, expanding more and more right now. Thank you so much. So it's so amazing.
Thank you for your wisdom and visions and light. And yeah, I agree. It feels huge heart tide. I like what the soul has said. I'm excited. This feels like medicine for this time for so many reasons. Some reasons that we will all meet within ourselves. And if you want to join the Held in Prayer Awakening ceremony, then all you need to do is sign up. At the moment, I haven't. So Starlight's had a lot of change happen. And so we're a little bit behind on kind of updating our website, basically, because we've had some other stuff to deal with. But if you join the Held in Prayer 2021 mailing list, I need to update the words about it because we're doing the new format of Held in Prayer, other than the original one that was to try and hold prayer for a whole year, that then got leaky. So now we're doing it properly, proper ceremony. So if you join that, then you will be on the mailing list, and you will automatically receive access to the Temple Spaces, which is either the Facebook group or the Telegram group if you're not on. On those spaces, pinned to the top, is an amazing calendar by the lovely Sharon, and that is where you fill in your prayer time. You will, I think the prayers are full, so people will be praying together. So you just sign up for the time that suits you. The more people that pray, the more powerful it is. So it doesn't matter if you and someone else is holding prayer at the same time, but you just pick a time that suits you. A Held in Prayer ceremony is by donation. You donate whatever is right in your heart after it finishes. So you don't need to make the donation until it finishes. And if you've joined the mailing list, then you will be able to get the transmission offering that I'm going to tune in about. But I knew I had to do, the guides have gone right. Everything about Held in Prayer has to be proper ceremony. And so I knew before the transmissions could come through, we had to do the call to prayer, we had to do the opening, we had to do the intending. And so yes, everything's being done in high ceremony for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ceremony. If you have any questions, by all means, email, reach out. I really cannot put Held in Prayer into words. The best way to know it is to experience it and see for yourself. It's really sacred. It's really special. It amplifies whatever healing you're doing, whatever manifesting you're doing. Brings you do it in oneness. So of course it makes it more powerful than if you were doing it individually, because we're more powerful in our togetherness and our oneness. And so it will serve anything else you're doing that weekend if you are called. And really, really, really in this time where we're so separated, there needs to be this energy of oneness and togetherness to balance out. You know, so it's really an important balancing medicine for this specific time as well. I feel like it is time to close now. So when you are ready, closing your eyes. And just calming into connection, feeling the angels of blessings coming through this. And it's the call to prayer, which is the ringing of the intention to hold prayer. To hold a prayer for awakening ceremony. And as this intention rings through you, feel the call to prayer template being offered into Gaia with her beautiful permission. And being shined up into the sun, into the truth. With his beautiful permission. And being shined into our hearts. With permission, we ask that humanity receives this prayer in the way that is in the highest good. With permission, we ask that everything that is meant to be released is released in the way that is in the highest good. With permission, we ask for this sacred prayer to be a catalyst for the great awakening in the way that it is in the highest good. And feeling this incredible energy of oneness. We listen to the call to prayer. May you be held, may you be loved, May you be beloved ones. May you live in the peace of the one heart. May you melt into the limitlessness of yourself. May you know the dance of the starlings and live the immunity of unity. May you remember the way of miracles as your heart sings open within the one song. May your prayer be in two-way flow as you cover in each other in infinite blessings. May the kindness of your hearts meet in the temple of oneness. May you be gentle. May you be free. May you return to innocence as you reclaim the temple ways. May your prayer be your awakening for all, because we are all one. May you be held. May you be loved. May you be beloved ones. We are the heartbeat of humanity. I'm feeling the violet flame coming through you, transmuting all energy that does not serve or belong into love and light if it is ready to be transmuted. In a golden rain shower of light coming down, taking any energy that is meant to go to Gaia as an offering to Great Mother Gaia. And a big beam of source light coming in, taking any energy that's meant to go somewhere else, wherever it is in the highest good for it to go. It's an offering to the stars as you feel the light chamber vanishing. And hear in your mind's ear the songs of the priesty, the chants of the priesty stopping. As the energy of the white deer blesses you. You're brought into sacred, beautiful stillness. So you're brought into sacred silence. So you're gently placed into your body now. Just noticing how you feel. Noticing if you are called to this prayer. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. And sending. No, we'll do this. One more community time. Seldom prayer is all about community. So if anybody wants to ask anything or share, I'll do the thank yous before we close. Very much about being in community. So if you want to unmute, if you want to ask, if you want to share, by all means you can. No, we're good to go. So, when you're ready, closing your eyes and just sending your love and gratitude to Gaia, to all minerals, all plants, all animals, and all of humankind. To all of spirit, all of star, all of source, all of fire, all of earth, all of air, all of water, all of love, all of light, all of matter and all of mystery, to all of feminine, to all of masculine, and all of the great union, to the priesty and the star ones, and the spirit of the white deer, and the sacred, beautiful medicine of the heart of humanity. And breathing in love, and breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude when you're ready. Coming into the room. Well, thank you all for being a part of the call to prayer. And I hope you can join us for the awakening ceremony. Very, 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 very excited about it. It's really worth trying. It's really amazing. Please do spread the word, especially anybody you know that is struggling with mental health and isolation and all of this stuff. This particular ceremony is amazing medicine for that. And it is really, yeah, it's really been helpful to a lot of people, including myself, who have, you know, found life so isolated to be hard. It really counters that. And so I really invite you to spread the word to people that it might help or might want to be part of it. And I hope that you can join us for the full moon. So much love. Mwah. See you at the full moon. Bye.